not your average college dropout. From pursuing a degree in visual communications to now being the only digital and augmented reality artist in the entire Caribbean. But how has he used dancehall culture to promote his brand globally? And more importantly, how is he making so much money from it? This and more in episode number 12. I am your host, Naja Robinson, and this is Afrocents. Welcome to episode number 12 of Afrocents, everyone, where we are joined by digital artist Bonita Thompson, also known as Don Dada. Hi, Bonita, how are you doing?
Good morning, Nadra. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. All right, so first thing, beautiful first name, Bonito, right? But you've actually chosen to go by Don Dada. Why? Why didn't you just stick with Bonito?
Well, Don Dada is the name of the brand, and it was
Mm,
also the name of the first AR collection that I did. So, because
mm,
that collection was focused on dancehall culture,
mm,
it made sense to call it Don Dada because of what Don Dada means to the culture. And then from there, when
mm.
I was forming the company, it also just made sense to call the company Don Dada because of the whole meaning and logic behind of the name. So we could dive into that.
Mhm. All right. So I mean, a lot of dancehall artists they use Don Dada in their name. So is there some sort of disconnect there? Do you feel uncomfortable with the fact that you call the brand Don Dada, but you have a lot of artists that use that in their songs as well?
Yeah, but there's only one done. So for the name and how it relates to what I'm doing, essentially Don Dada, there's three different aspects to why I call the brand Don Dada. The first aspect is
Okay.
because of dancehall culture. So in dancehall culture,
Mm,
Don Dada is, the leader of a space, the protector of a space, basically like the king in the space. You know what I mean? Like top of the pyramid. So that was one aspect for
mhm,
it. The second aspect for it is the data part of Don Dada. I spelled it differently, so it's DADA, and that
mm,
links to Dadaism, like the Surrealism movement, Salvador Dali, and all
yes.
of those creators. And the
Mm,
artwork there that they were making was very social commentary, political commentary, surrealism art. And because my artwork is augmented reality, which is another level
mm,
of engagement and viewing the art, kind of surreal in its own way.
yeah.
And
Mm,
because the topics, because dancehall culture essentially is the voice of the inner city. And what separates dancehall culture from reggae culture is that dancehall speaks about social issues that people in the ghetto faces, and it also can be political at times. So it kind of just fuses there as well. So that's the link between the name, the meaning behind the name, and the brand. And in a way, it's also kind of like a affirmation because I
mm.
am the first person in Jamaica and a wider extent the entire Caribbean to do augmented reality art and to
I
do.
was just about to ask you that actually, if you're the only person in Jamaica who's actually doing this.
Yeah, man. I'm leading the space. So that's another reason to call the brand the Don Dada. So people know that there's just one Don in the space. You get me? The
I
amazing thing about it now, which I'm also really happy about, is that there are, a few other creators who are doing AR art. And I love that because then it makes the space larger. The more people come into it, then the more viable it becomes as a like earning potential, you know, like that in that way. So
Mm, I got you. So you created some beautiful art pieces for a lot of companies in Jamaica. So you have Boom Energy Drink, you have Magnum Tonic Wine, you have Water, Red Stripe. But let's just rewind a bit. So just take us back to the time when all you had was just that dream in your heart to say that, okay, this is what I really want to do. I've been thinking about this for such a long time and I really want it to come into reality. So just take us on a journey to how your journey digital art started.
So uh, it really started during COVID. Well, actually, 2019. So in
Mm.
2019, actually, it's probably before that, the year before that, I had a collection before that, and it did really well. We're going way back now, right? Because I started out as a graphic designer. I've been, and as a graphic designer, I did have success. So I was like the lead designer for Campari in the entire
Okay.
Caribbean for like 4 or 5 years, lead designer for Reggae Sunfest, a ton of different brands. Um,
Mm.
but I wasn't creatively, I wasn't satisfied. It felt stifling, because at that point you're creating for other brands, and it's a case where every graphic designer know this, like, oh, make the logo bigger, make it pop. Like I was getting tired of that, so I
Mm.
decided to start doing my own solo art shows as a way to just get my creative energy out.
Mm.
I did a show called Passion Fruit a couple years ago, and that was a success. And that's where it kind of clicked for me that I could really do this. I just need to find a way to monetize it for the space that I'm in. And then I did the first version of Don Dada, which was like 6 pieces, and that was cool. But it never really like scratched the itch. I wanted to find a way to just make my work stand out beyond the canvas or what's on the canvas. I give it another layer of engagement. Um, I live on YouTube. I have a YouTube degree in several different fields,
Wait, I
and
have a question. One question. So you did you go to Edna Manley to learn how to do all of this?
no, I did go to Edna.
You,
I did go to
mm,
Edna, but it wasn't for this. They don't offer this as a course. I learned
mm,
fully self-taught when it comes to AR. I learned
okay.
everything through YouTube, through
YouTube.
tutorials, and just through curiosity. So
Mm.
yeah, I did some searches, and I found one 6-minute video talking about how to make AR art, like how to bring your artworks to life, and it was pretty simple. Um,
Mm.
I just kept practicing with it, kept like, just experimenting with it. And the cool thing about it that I loved was that it's done through social apps. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. So
Mm.
removed the need for the viewer to download a third party app, because usually like if you're going anywhere and they say you need a special app, that's a
Mm.
barrier. You have to go spend time and download it and set it
No
up.
one wants to do that anyways.
Exactly. So the fact that it was done through Instagram, that's the one that I use primarily, that removed any, onboarding barriers. So
Absolutely.
persons when they view the art, it's simply because all the pieces have a QR code in them. So you just open your regular camera, scan the code, and then everything else is automatic. So the
That's
code
really
automatically
convenient.
launches Instagram. And then once Instagram sees the artwork through your camera, it automatically just brings it to life. So it removed any friction. So
Mm.
that was the huge plus there. But during COVID was when I actually had the first AR art show. I think the thing that was in my favor, even though it was COVID time, everybody kind of depressed, like, oh, the world is ending. What am I gonna do? Then here I come with this art show when
Mm.
the market was just hungry for some form of an entertainment. So that provided the unique, you know, s- bu- 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 that just provided the unique space for it to blow up, you
Bro,
know.
okay.
Um,
Mm.
and yeah, like from there, it's really just been, you know, learnings and experimenting same way.
Mm. Absolutely. So the feedback that you have received, it has been really, really good. So
Yeah,
how what was the first interaction for you to say that okay, this can really take off? What was the first feedback that you have gotten from that art show?
the show went viral on its own. Like I literally did a full press tour, which I never planned for. I guess it was just a case where it was so different and that's always been my main aim, like just to make something different, like not make it good, not make it bad, just make it different. Like when people see it, the main thing that they're saying is, I've never seen anything like this before. Like that has always been my goal. And I think I really hit it on the head, because from there, so you know, TVJ wanted interviews, CVM did a couple interviews, like nationwide. It was all of the major like press outlets
Mm-hmm.
that gave the show a level of validity, that brands started reaching out on their own. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's a momentum that's just kept building, so even from
Absolutely.
there, last last year.
Hold on, no, no, no. We have to take a break right now, but we will definitely have more.
Welcome to Financial Freedom, where dreams become reality. Join the ranks of the wealthy 1% and secure your family's future with indexed universal life insurance. Enjoy the benefits while you're still alive. Our policy offers living benefits, long-term care coverage, and savings potential. Build your wealth, protect your loved ones, and ensure a secure financial future. Start your journey today. Visit dynamicviva.com.
All right, so welcome back to Afrocents, everyone. We're joined by digital artist Bonita Thompson, also known as Don Dada. So, Don Dada, you were saying that when you did the press tour, it went viral.
Yeah, and it was also a case where the work that I make is very shareable. So
Mm-hmm.
once people started to see, because even for the event, we went all out. We decorated the space like it was a dance, even though it was an art show. We make it
Mm-hmm.
feel like it was on a lane. Like we bring zinc fence and display the work on the zinc
Right.
fence
So,
itself.
mm-hmm.
We had crates and speaker box, like jerk chicken, like actual jerk pan and them thing there. So it was really like a experience, And one of the show, so the show was 5 days, two different locations. One of them was our hotel. Um, and no, shout out to Carla, because she really helped to make that possible. And yeah, when people started to see the content online, they thought that it was like a show in New York or Miami or something.
Yeah.
Where is this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is so cool. And then, from there, so like the RSVPs were fully booked in a couple of days for all 5 days. uh yeah, it just took on a life of its own. And yeah, like it's nothing that we really planned. Like I said, I was just trying to have an art show because I felt creatively stifled. But from that, it because of the full response and momentum behind it, I decided to quit my job and make this official, started a company around it. And then you know we started to offer AR as a service for brands, so AR brand marketing. And from there, like really just kind of package it in a way that companies could easily integrate it into their marketing already, and
Mm-hmm.
just make that a service of its own.
Totally get you. In your portfolio, the two first words that I see are forward thinking and innovative. I mean, and your designs are pretty much out of this world. So, would you say that your entire designs are ahead of its time? Would you say that you're ahead of your time in terms of your creativity?
I don't think I would say that. Like I said, I'm just trying to do things different. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, I do think that I have a unique a unique perspective. But then, from any creative has a
Mm-hmm.
unique voice. And the more you as a individual creative listen to your own voice, that's when you start doing work that is true to you, and people naturally gravitate to that. So I believe that's what I'm doing. I'm just making content that I want to see in the world. With dancehall culture, it comes naturally because that's what I live and grew up in. So everything that is on the canvas are things that I see on a regular basis. Zinc fence,
Mm-hmm.
speaker box, two dog, creates like all of that. Killer
Mm-hmm.
iconography for the culture. Um, So I wouldn't really say that, like my things are out of this world. It's really just me finding inspiration from regular everyday things, but
Mm-hmm.
positioning it in a way that people see it from another angle or just experience it in a unique way.
Mm. So I know you've worked with a lot of companies in corporate Jamaica before, but what exactly do AR designs bring to a company like Supreme Ventures or the British High Commission, the companies that you've worked with? What exactly does it contribute to their company?
Well, so there are a number of different things. The first aspect is the engagement side of it, the experience side of it. You know,
Okay.
it's a case where when you really think about marketing, branding, the space in general, like it's all the same things. You know what I mean? Like they do a press ad, they run it in the papers, or they print out a poster and they put it up. You know what I mean? Or the traditional media interviews and all of that. So there hasn't been that much growth in the space. But
Okay.
with AR, because it's basically Instagram filters, TikTok filters, people don't usually think of that as an advertising channel, and that's what we are positioning it. So we're taking things that socially we're already using. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're using your Instagram filters, you're already putting songs to your posts and all of that. And we're just helping brands to show up in that space in an organic way. So that is the
Mm-hmm.
big sell to it. It's just another channel to interact with your customer. And from there you subtly introduce, your brand messaging, whatever product you want to push, things like that. And because it's a channel that grows organically, like people share it to their stories and then their friends see it, it works as referral marketing, word of mouth type of thing. um, so that is one of the aspects. The other aspect to it is the fact that it records data, so you can directly see your return on investment from how well your filter is performing, and that is content that marketing agencies love. So they can say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I spent X amount on this filter, but then it hit 100,000 people in a week." So they can quantify the spend. So those are the two main benefits to using AR as a marketing tool.
So I
And then,
know that you've worked with a lot of. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, and then because I approach things primarily as an artist, then that gives, a third channel. So it's not your regular poster with a huge logo and the product popping off. It's more creative. From there you can do a mural, you can do gondola designs, you can do t-shirt designs, and once it's the same artwork with the same QR code, it's all gonna come to life. So you can literally put that design anywhere and it's still going to give the same AR experience. So it just kind of builds out the channels even further for our marketing department to process.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you're the only Jamaican who's actually doing this, and by extension, the Caribbean. Isn't that a lot of pressure and a lot of work for you?
Um, Anything that you do is gonna be a lot of work, and if you're doing something different and you're public facing, it's gonna be pressure. But for me, I love what I do. I
Mm-hmm.
love making art. I love experimenting with new things. I love doing different things. So it doesn't feel, that like that much pressure. And it's really a case where once I entered into this space, my thinking around it is that I'm getting paid to learn new things. So it's basically every project that we've taken on is something that I've never done before. Like the Supreme
Mm-hmm.
Ventures project, I've never painted a 50-foot mural before. That's in my life. But I knew that I could do it. And with my mentality, I knew that I would figure it out whichever way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that I have enough resources around me to call on and say, hey, I have this project. This is the issue that I'm having. Help me think through it. I'm a problem solver like that. So it's really a case where mentally I am prepared for anything that this journey brings to me. And I'm not, intimidated by any of it. Like I welcome all of it. because at
That's
the
so
end
nice.
at the end of the day, for the level of impact that I want to have on the world, like it's gonna come with pressures, and you just have to be ready for it. And every level that you go up is gonna be a different level of pressure. You know what I mean? Life is gonna ask more of you. So
Absolutely. So, I mean, you're kind of touching on the topic of purpose. So, would you say that the work that you're doing now, are you living in your purpose?
in some aspects, I am there. I do. There's a lot more that I want to do,
In
and
terms of digital art?
yeah, in terms of digital art, in terms of creativity, because there's really no limit to it.
Absolutely.
Um, you know, in terms of the ways that I express myself, like yeah, right now my pieces are like I'll draw them on my iPad or draw them in Photoshop and then print them out and then layer AR. But I've been thinking about doing other things like maybe experimenting with 3D sculpting or doing large model like installations.
So,
Uh,
there's no limit to your creativity, absolutely none.
no, it's just time.
Just time. All right, so we're going to touch on a topic that has been making waves on social media and around the world,
Mhm.
but we will have that after this.
Are you ready to provide peace of mind to the ones you love the most? Protect them with Assure for Life funeral membership. Join the ranks of over 2 million protected individuals in Latin America and the United States. Our dedication to excellence has earned us an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. We care about your specific needs, and our consultants are here to provide personalized advice, ensuring you make the right decision for your family's future. Choose the best option for you. Our family membership protects up to 7 loved ones between ages 0 and 65, coverage of traditional funeral services for the primary member and their family members, includes parents up to 80 years of age, transportation within the United States, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico, with repatriation to the country of origin within the coverage area, round-trip airfare exclusively for the primary member to attend the service of plan members, 24/7 customer support line staffed by a specialized team of professionals providing personalized assistance, and continuous support during the time of the service. You can also choose this membership for 1 or 2 people, extending the same level of protection and care to your closest individuals. Our silver membership protects individuals between ages 66 and 75, coverage of traditional funeral services for the primary member and their family member or friend, option to add protection for 1 additional person between 0 and 75 years old with an additional fee, regardless of kinship, transportation to the country of origin, round-trip airfare exclusively for the primary plan holder to attend the service of their protected family members or friends, 24/7 customer support line offering personalized assistance during difficult times, and continuous support during the time of the service. Protect your loved ones with Assure for Life funeral membership. Contact us at 646-688-5554 for more information.
That advertisement was brought to you by Assure for Life, protecting your loved ones with premium funeral membership. So we're still here with Don Dada, and we are speaking now on the topic of NFTs. So can you tell us exactly what NFTs are? How do you make money from it? Explain it for us.
NFTs at its core is a way of showing ownership of a digital asset. For artists who primarily make something that is intangible. Because if you're creating an artwork on your iPad without printing it, digital is nothing. You know what I mean? Like it's ones and zeros. So it's a way of showing ownership of that. A lot of people might say, well, that don't have no intrinsic value on its own. Another aspect of NFTs is basically, or at least a driving force behind NFTs is basically building a community. So like how you grow your Instagram following essentially, or anywhere that you have your online community, you can build that through NFTs essentially. It's like you can think of it like a club or a membership. The meaning of NFT is non-fungible token. Which again is just another way of saying something that is not physical. It's a token to represent that.
So is there a difference between NFTs and Bitcoin?
Yes. So Bitcoin is currency that you use is Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. The currency that you use to buy NFTs is called Ethereum, or is also a cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin and Ethereum are cryptocurrencies. So just like how you'd have the US dollar and the Jamaican dollar, but for an NFT, you specifically use Ethereum to buy an NFT. And you can also think of NFT as a receipt, so your receipts to prove that, oh, I own this digital thing, right? Then from there, so now if you have an entrepreneurial mind, then you can think of ways to further monetize that NFT that you own. So be it that you do merch, or like you sell physical prints of it, of your NFT. So it's just a lot of different ways to monetize. Like right now, the NFT space is being restructured by the US government. So it's kind of nobody not really doing that much. But from a creative perspective, for independent artists, you can still make money in NFTs. So the main thing that you would need though is a following. You need a community. You need people who genuinely love your work and want to support your work, because then they'll buy your work. So for creatives, it's just you can really think about it as another stream of income. But you would need to have a community that supports you, because when you really think about what you call it now, how artists used to make money like way back from like Renaissance period, like Da Vinci and those people, it's a case where somebody who is rich that loves your work, they would basically pay you to live for a couple of months as long as you're creating. Anything that you make, they get first picks. Is that they're patronizing your work in a way. With NFTs, it's kind of similar.
So I was speaking to another artist, and she mentioned that your network is actually your net worth. So is that a case where that's pretty much applicable?
That's very much applicable in the NFT space.
How do you find these persons to support your work? These rich persons to support your work and support you?
By doing good work, by being consistent, by consistently making work and putting it out there, and then let people know that, oh, it's available as an NFT, Then from there, so now people who collect NFTs who are genuinely interested in your work will start to come and pay attention, and then they might get a one piece. And then, they'll tell their friend, and their friend sees it and like, oh, that's cool, I want to own one as well. And it just grows from there. So anything, it's still another form of marketing. You're still gonna have to be doing that groundwork as an artist. But yeah, the opportunities are still out there. It's not at the space where it's making those huge headlines of 10 million, $60 million. But if you, as an artist, I have a community, you can still be making money. You can make $10,000 off of a sale if you do your marketing right,
Yes, or $1,000,000 we're talking. Okay.
Yeah, like it's still possible, It's just a lot more work because, like I said before, the U.S. government is regulating the space, and they're now bringing in like tax clauses, So people are kind of holding back on how much that they spend right now. But the space will rebound because it's a case where it's being driven by real artists who are making, art because they love it, and they have genuine collectors who want to support them. So the art market isn't dead. It's just the NFT space is restructuring. But once it's fully restructured and people understand the legal ramifications behind spending so much money on a piece, like, oh, they're gonna have to report this as and pay X amount, then you're gonna start seeing more life come back into the space. But for any creative, especially in Jamaica, like it's kind of difficult to get into NFTs from well, if you're not in a major territory like US or the UK or Canada or whatever, because our banking laws doesn't really support it. Like even the mere act of getting set up and connecting a card and buying crypto, like they make it difficult here, It's a lot easier if you have access to the US space. Like if you just go to America and set up your bank account and all of that, it makes it a lot easier for you to get access. But it's still possible, And then also for any creative who is interested in just being a creative and making money off of your work, that is also very much possible. And the amazing thing about it is the fact that we have social media, we have the internet, we have TikTok. You could easily, do a progress video of yourself in your artwork in a time lapse, and then put a voiceover onto that, talking about, like why you're making this, or even anything. Talk about your day. It's the internet. People just want to be entertained. You can make that, post that, and the algorithm works in your favor, and you go viral. Because at the end of the day, with today's landscape, it's about attention. And if you can curate enough attention around yourself or your work or whatever you're doing, it makes it a lot easier to monetize it. Like if you only have 100 followers and your artwork only getting 1 or 2 likes, it's gonna be difficult, even if you're making the best artwork in life. So the first step is to find a way to get your engagement up, grow your following on platform you choose. And then once you have one, it makes it a lot easier for you now to start selling your work, and yeah, there is no, one model that will work for you or work for anybody. You just have to figure it out for your audience. And that just comes from being curious and just testing a lot of things, so when nobody tell you that, oh, you can't make money as an artist, like, that's a lie. You can make a lot of money as an artist. You just need to find a way to get attention around your work. And it's really just that. Like, don't make your physical location suck the life out of you. You know what I mean? Like, for creatives, and speaking from my personal experience, like, this is what fills me up, It's not going to do it every day, but you know that this is what I'm here to do. I know that as a fact, And it's really just finding the spaces where my work is appreciated and showing up,
Absolutely. So we have to end the conversation right here. Amazing speaking to you, Dandada. Thank you so much for joining Afrocents.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So if you want to connect with you, how can we find you on all social media platforms and even purchase your work as well?
Dandada JA. So it's that on Instagram, DONDADAJ, Instagram, Twitter, also my website, all Dandada. And on the website, that's where you can collect pieces. So I have prints available from $80 US up to $170 US, and I ship internationally. So anywhere in the world that you are and you want to buy. Also have some AR merch that's coming out for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So you see how Woody Parina for lately. Sweater weather is coming up. We will have some sweaters as well. But yeah, go out the side, follow me on Wasi Struggles. That's the best way.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So everyone, we have come to the end of episode number 12 with digital artist Dandada. I am your host, Naja Robinson, and this is Afrocents.